We're gonna go ahead and get started. We have 5 or 6 people in this room and about 22 people online. So welcome to our first ever online in-person seminar. So just like a lot of things, it is the first time, like a pancake, it can get a little wonky. So just be with us here. So I'm Jody. I have Marissa with me, and I'll introduce her in a second, and Anthony. But first, let me just say Happy Pride Month. We like to start our classes with a quote of the day, so I'll start this seminar with a quote from Barack Obama, because I like my coffee like my president's, black. When all Americans are treated as equal, no matter who they are and who they love, we are all free. Okay, so welcome to the 2020 reset. I can't see people online, but just by show of hands in the room, who feels like they need a 2020 reset? I'll put both of my hands up here. And so that's really what we're going to go over today. I want to introduce Marissa Gibson, who is our new nutritionist on staff. And I'll give her a site. So welcome, Marissa.
Hi, everyone.
And then we're also going to talk a little bit about, beginning on July 11th, we are going to do a 28-day nutrition challenge that we're super excited about. We're excited to have Marissa on staff. She'll tell you a lot about herself, and she's really going to lead this the reset talk this morning. And then we'll talk a lot more about what the nutrition challenge, the 28-day nutrition challenge will be that will begin on July 11th. So with nothing further, I want to introduce you to Marissa. She can introduce herself to you, and let's go.
So again, my name is Marissa Gibson, and a little bit about me is I graduated from Kent State University with my master's in nutrition, and I got into nutrition at a very young age. When I was about 10 years old, I actually went to my mom and I was like, I don't like the way I look. I want to change. And I had seen Weight Watchers commercials, and she was like, okay. And then that week I went and signed up. So ever since 10 years old, nutrition has been a huge part of my life. So that's why I'm so excited to be part of the Pittsburgh FIT community, because I want to help people the way I was helped, and I want people to feel their best and feel the most comfortable in their own skin. So here at Pittsburgh FIT, we feel like something as fundamental as nutrition should not be complicated. And that's kind of where I feel the nutrition industry lacks, is they make things very confusing. Like the other day, I walked by GNC and it was like, lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Now, could that be done? Maybe. Is that sustainable or realistic? No. So what we want to do is help you find a program that is actually right for you, is fit for you, is made for you. And that's kind of how you succeed. So that's the kind of point of all bringing this nutrition to the gym and bringing it to all of you. And so we kind of looked at 2020 a bit like the Titanic. It seemed like a really great idea when we started, like a new year, yay, let's get moving. And then it kind of went downhill super fast. So now we're going to do the 2020 reset. So the 3
Turn
things.
that boat around.
Yeah, right. Turn the boat around now. But the 3 things we're going to talk about today is kind of just looking at where you're at and where you want to be, the people you surround yourself with, your friends, your family, and then lastly, just actually taking action and taking that first step. So the big 3. There's a quote by Michael Hyatt. He's an author, I believe, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed, but if you narrow your focus, you will get things done. So have you ever done like a million things in a day, or at least it felt like you did a million things, but then at the end of the day, you sit down and you can't actually think of one thing you did? So we tend to really overbook ourselves, and then we don't actually finish anything we start because we try doing too many things. And because we're so busy, we put really, really important things such as our health, our nutrition, sleeping, kind of on the back burner. And then things just kind of start going wrong because ultimately the things that are most important we kind of forget about. And that's why it's so important identifying your big 3, which your big 3 can be anything from nutrition, fitness, work-life balance. It's picking any of these 3 things. And I don't know if anyone has like the worksheet in front of them, but we're going to go over that a little bit and how to fill that out now.
All right, so hey guys, I'm jumping in, stealing the thunder here. Now, what's cool about the big 3 is it can be anything. What we want you to pick though, inside of that big 3 is something that is very action oriented. So if you guys are looking at this chart here, there's a phase 1 to choose an action step, right? We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but the idea of choosing the type of goal matters. Choosing how you want to measure success. So if I say I want to gain weight, I can't just imagine myself gaining weight. So over time, I have to create an objective place to go. So we'll say gain 6 pounds, right? That's my 3-month goal. So we want you to subdivide that goal into 3 single month goals. So that'd be 2 pounds a month, 2 pounds a month, 2 pounds a month. Now, what I want you to do is pick a habit or an action step that lets you do that, right? So just thinking about it isn't going to help. So what I'd have to do is action step for my first week is going to be drink 1 protein shake and eat 2 meals a day, right? It sounds simple, but I don't want to make anything more complicated like counting macros and adding in supplements and, doing steroids. Just kidding. No. So I want to make my habits very easily successful, and then I want to make them trackable. So for month 1, I set up my goals. Eat 2 meals a day, have a protein shake, and then I have to do some strength training. Now I go through month 1. Did I approach my goal? Did I move towards my 2 pounds of gain? If I did, my action steps are good, and I'm going to add something else because I know that I've been succeeding there. If they haven't been successful, I have to look back and start back over. I can still keep some of those goals, but I have to do something differently. So you want small goals. Drink a protein shake every day between noon and 4, right? Super easy, super concise. What I don't want to say is eat 4,000 calories a day because I won't do it. So it's really important to set these goals small. You could pick a multivitamin. You could pick go out for a half-hour walk. You could pick anything. So Jody, you guys have anything to say about this one?
Well, sure. I'm not looking to gain any weight, but I am looking to dial in my meditation practice, which has really gotten off the rails. And so instead of saying like, oh, I really want to just get better at my spiritual practice, what I need to do is just say, okay, the first 10 minutes of my day, I'm just going to focus on my breathing and probably track my thoughts that are all over the place, but just keep coming back to my breath.
Yeah, I forget where I heard this, but it's about flossing, right? Everyone tells you that you should floss every single day. So it's hard to do that. Do you floss every day? Nice. So one of the tips I heard is every day we want to set your goal to floss just 1 tooth. No one is ever going to pick up floss and just floss 1 tooth. But you set the bar low so you feel successful. You pick it up, you floss that first tooth, and you're like, oh, well, I'm here already, so I might as well get the rest of them. So setting a cornerstone or a keystone habit, we talk about this all the time, really snowballs into big things as we start small so you feel successful as you go.
Right, and I've said that, like, if you've ever been in any of my classes, I'll talk about keystone habits all the time. Like, the coming to the gym is a keystone habit. When people start doing that, they'll start to focus on what they're eating, how they're sleeping, like who they're being surrounded by. So I love this. I think that's great for everybody. Let's all tonight floss 1 tooth and see what happens. That's pretty genius.
Yeah. All right. We're going to start talking about our next habit.
All right, so the next thing is assessing your sphere of influence, which is kind of a fancy way for saying the people you surround yourself with, your friends, your family. And it's been proven that the people who are around you all the time have a huge impact on your health, your pretty much just everything, every single thing you do.
Your finances even.
Yeah, literally everything. So there was a study done that showed for every obese friend you had a 0.5% chance of being overweight. And that seems like a lot or a little
crazy,
harsh
right?
even. I know, it sounds crazy, but who you surround yourself with makes a difference on what you're eating, how you're at, like your fitness goals, everything like that.
Which is not to say if your friends are overweight, cut them out of your life.
Right, yeah.
Nobody's saying that. What we're saying is you be the center point of influence.
Right, and the cool thing is too, if your habits start changing, typically the people around you will start changing. If you've ever had a friend who like only eats healthy, when you go out to eat with them, the chances of you eating healthy too, you're probably going to do it because you're not going to order a burger when they're ordering a salad. So it all kind of makes sense. And another study done was the more people you eat with, the more you actually eat. So if you eat with 7 or more people, the amount you're going to consume goes up 96%. Which, yeah, seems crazy, but I know like when I go out to eat.
Makes sense though, right?
Yeah.
When you go to like a picnic.
Yeah, when the food's in front of you, it feels like you never stop eating. And again, not saying you should stop going out with your friends because you need that social aspect, But some things are just to become aware. Like if the bread's in front of you, move it. If your water's empty, ask for more and just sip on water instead of eating. Or if you're at a friend's house for dinner, just kind of walk away from the food table. I know it's really easy to gather in the kitchen, but just kind of slowly removing yourself or removing things really helps. But again, don't get rid of that social aspect because you still need that sphere. They make a huge difference in your life. Keep going the next slide.
These guys online they see a PowerPoint that we're having.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So
That's all. You guys doing okay? Give me a couple thumbs up. Can you guys hear me? All good? All good? Nice.
So just having those people around you to keep you accountable, to kind of keep you in check. You just want them to be on the same page as you.
Yeah, and Jody made a good point, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with 5 friends, right, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. It doesn't have to be in person. It can be, do you listen to the same podcast every day? Are you near your boss every day? Sorry if that's what your life looks like. It's not so bad. All right, so the idea here is that if your friend group has trouble with a particular thing, you should be the person to take that first step, right? If all of your friends, they smoke or they drink too much or they go out to eat too much or they spend money on things that don't matter, right? So financial, mental well-being, social, whatever it is, you say, you know what, I'm done with this. I want to be the one to take that first step forward. I want to have this healthy habit. You guys can come with me or not, but if they're your friends, they probably will come with you and join Pittsburgh FIT. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
And the next super important thing, which is one of the most important, is having a positive attitude. So when you start, as humans, we kind of are hardwired to think negatively. It just happens. So it requires some work to actually be a positive person. But the more you become aware of positive things in your life, the better things will start, the better everything kind of becomes. Bless you. And an example or a saying I heard was that I really liked, which you may have heard before, is if you go out and buy a black Jeep and you're driving it and all of a sudden you notice a million other black Jeeps on the road, do you think everyone else went out that day and bought a black Jeep? Probably, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, they did. But probably not. It's just you're aware of it. So the same thing goes with your attitude. When you are aware of all like the good things happening in your life, all the positive things happening in your life, it kind of seems like everything is going really well because that's all you pay attention to. And that's kind of what you want your circle around you to be too. And if you've ever noticed, normally positive people hang out with other positive people. And the same goes for negative. So you kind of change your mindset and everything else kind of falls into place.
Yeah, so I think that your brain doesn't respond well to thinking in negative. So if you think about a goal, right, you don't want to think of the opposite, right? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do Y. Like you're driving in your car thinking, I don't want to hit a telephone pole. That's not what you should think. You should think, I want to stay on the road. So what your brain hears is telephone pole. So it starts driving and then you start drifting. What you want to think about is road. Only positives, not negatives. So it's way easier to think this is what I'm going to do versus I want to try and avoid. Think about what you're actually going to do today instead of what you're trying to skip out on.
You can take the next one.
Cool.
And then the third and final step is taking action, which is typically the hardest step. So it's one thing to say you want to do something and you're really excited about it, because I'm that way all the time. Like I hear something, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. But then actually doing it for some reason, like starting it, is super, super hard. So that's why when we take action, we really recommend. So when you can see where you started and you can see where you're going, and when you can see how far you've come, it makes you want to sometimes try even harder because you know how much you can do and how much you can improve, which is super awesome to see. And some great ways to track is just a paper and pencil. Keep a journal by your bed. Keep a journal in your car. When you wake up, write down your big 3. Write down what you want to do for the day. And it's so rewarding to be able to like cross those things out. And then instead of feeling like you did a million things, not knowing what, like you have it written down, you have it right in front of you. You can be like, I had a good day. But you can also track just simply on MyFitnessPal, the app. And that'll track your food, that'll track your weight, that tracks your exercise. And when you track for so many days in a row, it is like, good job, congrats, you've done for 30 days, like you're doing great. And that feels really good as well. And then another really, really great way to track is if you sign up for our July 11th Nutrition Challenge, you actually get access to our HSN app for 28 days, which is the coolest way to track because You put in all your body measurements, you put in all your food you eat, you get your meal plans in there and everything. And it's like the most awesome thing ever. So,
Yeah, it syncs with MyFitnessPal,
Yeah.
it syncs with Apple Watch.
Yeah, it syncs with your Apple Watch, syncs with sleep, your activity, your
Jody's really
nutrition.
excited about
It's yeah, I'm obsessed with it right now.
One of the things to know with action steps are there's some research to show that your brain responds to saying you're going to do something the same way that it responds to you actually doing it. So what's really important for me is I don't like to walk in and say, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do in the next 3 to 6 months, because then it already feels like I've done it. So you can tell people that you have goals to keep you accountable, but try not to just keep throwing it out there with your words, because then you feel like you've already accomplished it. And then by the end of the day, you haven't, but it feels like you have, right? So you can internalize these things. I like writing them down, keeping them a little bit personal. Each person handles these things a little bit different, but you want to make sure that you're actually doing it and not just talking about it. So set your goals, hit your checkpoints, and check back into your big three often. Talk about ways to track your progress already. Daily habits.
So daily habits are kind of how you keep up with everything. Your long-term goals need to become daily habits ultimately. And something that I learned about recently is called habit stacking. So putting two habits together, like replacing an old bad habit with another habit. So for example, if every night you sit down and you just automatically grab a bag of chips and kind of just mindlessly eat, well, instead of doing that, when you sit down, grab a big glass of water, or instead of sitting down right away, start stretching, or don't sit down in front of the TV until after 8:30. Like putting these different kind of habits together will then get rid of the habits that you were mindlessly eating for. And another one that I just recently heard that I really, really liked is go grocery shopping on Sundays, and right when you get back, meal prep. So associate grocery shopping with meal prep. Like come back right away, do it. So kind of putting habits together really helps create really good daily habits, which is awesome.
Floss one tooth.
Yeah.
Floss one tooth.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing to just take a second to think about is kind of goes back to your sphere of influence. So think about 3 people who you could call upon right now that have a positive influence on your life. And maybe after this, like text them, send them an email, see if they want to go get coffee. Let them know what your goals are and like what you want to accomplish in the next few weeks, few months. And having those people is such an awesome thing, because success is not a straight line. You're going to have fallbacks. You're going to have struggles. And having people around you are like, no, keep going. You got this. Or like, look how far you've come is really, really nice. So taking some time to do that is definitely worth it.
Especially in weight loss, because you guys all know that the scale goes up and down and up and down. You drink a lot of water, then your weight goes up. You have a really good BM, your weight goes down, but you want to make sure you're nice and level, right? Taking it over months, over weeks, over years, we want a consistent trend, and that's okay. That zigzag is super, super stressful. So sometimes it's good for people to weigh themselves every single day, but I don't like to do that. So that's why we do biometric screens once a month. So you're not freaking out on the day-to-day, and we want to make sure that this is a whole long-term goal. It's a long-term journey. You're here. We want you to be with us until you're 100. So we want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction, just slowly and steadily.
Right, and actually that thing about like weighing yourself regularly, I drink SodaStream way more than I should, and a lot of it. And when this is full, it's like 3.2 pounds. And I tell you that because I can chug this in the morning, and then I weigh myself. Like one day I'll weigh myself when I wake up, and then a couple days later I'll weigh myself after I chug this, and I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing all this work, and look what happened. But water weighs a lot, which is not to say don't drink water. Don't hear that. Drink water. Just know that when you're weighing yourself, do it at the same time. Don't do it every day, but when you do it, make sure you do it at the same time. And know that water weighs a lot. If you backpack, you know water weighs a lot.
All right, so Jody's going to tell you guys a little bit about what's coming up as we look ahead here.
And we have so we'll create some space for questions. So we have a nutrition challenge that we're starting on July 11th. Actually, the like the gathering and the orientation will be July 11th, and we'll actually start it on July 13th. So what's included there? There will be 2 in-body measurements, one when you start and then one at the end. You'll have access to the new app we have, which, like, again, I'm obsessed with this app. I think it's amazing. It syncs MyFitnessPal, it syncs my activity, it syncs my sleep. It manages all of my measurements. And And so you'll have access to that. You'll have access to a session with Marissa and check-ins. And then also on that app will just be your way to communicate with Marissa, but also your way to communicate with the group of people that are doing it. We're expecting there should be probably 30 or 40 people. I mean, most people that I have talked to feel like dialing in their nutrition after COVID is really, really important. So, and I know for myself, and the bit of this was in the newsletter, you know, like, and I eat pretty healthy as it is, but during COVID, you know, I can go to my phone and look at my activity. I was active the whole time, and I can look at my sleep, and I was sleeping really well. But, you know, I had a lot of time on my hands, and my nutrition was like, though it was really good, it had a lot of volume. And so I know that's a piece that I need to dial in. Anyway, the 28 days will be $99 for the 28 days. All of that is included, again, with the 2 biometric screens. And our hope is that you'll want to stay with this once you do the 28 days. And if we dial this in correctly, it'll be great. You'll also have, I wrote myself some notes because I didn't want to miss anything. You'll also have meal plans that will be delivered to you through the app based on what your goals are. And accountability and community, of course, which, you know, are key to success, which is what we've been talking about around the sphere of influence. Did I get it all there?
Yeah, so you guys can go to pittsburghfit.com, and right on the homepage, it should show you the info. If you're a member, click on the nutrition only option. If you're not a member yet, you can do the nutrition and fitness piece for the full 28 days, so you guys have some options there.
Yeah, nutrition plus fitness for new members only is $129. So it's a killer deal for anybody who you want to bring into the gym, who wants to reset their life. They get both the nutrition and 1 month of fitness with us for $129. It's a great deal.
Now we're going to open up the floor for questions. So what I'd like you to do is throw them in the chat. We'll hang out here for about 5 minutes or so. You guys have anything coming up?
Are there any questions in the room?
Any questions in the room? Good question.
So we either nailed it. Yeah.
I know, right? I'm thinking we nailed it.
Any questions online?
All right, cool. So if you guys do have any questions, shoot us an email at info@PittsburghFit or nutrition@PittsburghFit, and we'll get back to you. The more questions we get from you, the better we can tailor the content of these presentations, because it's about you, not about what we like. So we like the 2020 reset. So we want to know what you guys next. So,
and we will be doing these seminars based on different topics at least once a month. So you can expect to jump in these. I mean, right now we're doing 2020 reset, but the next one might be focused on
how to get more vegetables with breakfast,
or meditation practice, or something like. We'll be doing these regularly.
Yeah, so one of the questions, what does a session with Marissa entail? So what we'll do is we'll do the kickoff on the 11th. The week of the 13th, that's when we're scheduling all appointments, so that if you have any questions before, like in the first week, we can get them answered as soon as possible. So you come in, you'll do an in-body, we'll go over your specific meal plan, and we'll pick like 1 or 2 action steps. It's a really short appointment. We're talking like 15 minutes. We don't want to tie you guys up too much, but it'll either be with me or Marissa for the challenge. After the challenge, it's all her, just because we think we're going to be pretty busy.
And part of those sessions will be habit-based. Right?
Part of those sessions, yeah, the action steps, the 1 or 2 action steps that would be most effective for you towards your goals. So the best thing that you can do is decide what you want to do, make that goal concise and actionable, and then when we come in, we can talk about the next steps about how to move on.
Right, and that's where Marissa will really be super helpful, especially around nutrition.
Yeah.
Around what are the specific pieces.
Yeah, and in the app actually, so what we'll do is we'll put your action steps in the app, and every day you log on and it'll give you like a little notification that says, hey, did you do X? Did you drink your protein shake? Did you eat a cup of vegetables with breakfast? And you just mark it off, and then at the end of every week we can check in and see how everyone did, and then we can make adjustments to the program there.
Yeah. And I, for one, I'm someone who really likes to do a check mark next to something on my list. Like if on my list is to floss 1 tooth, and I can do a check mark next to it, I will definitely floss the tooth because I love the check marks.
Yeah, you get a badge and a gold star. It's really a blast.
So if you use an Apple Watch for activity, right, and you close all your rings, you know how the watch will vibrate on your hand, and then you look at it in time, you see the burst of light, and it's amazing. Like, it's super rewarding. I love it so much, so that's why. And then at the end of the day, I try to track how many drinks I closed in a week.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for jumping on with us. Thank you for being here in person. Like Jody said, we're going to run these like once a month so we can keep you guys in check. Thank you, Marissa, for doing an awesome
welcome
job.
to Pittsburgh
And welcome to Pittsburgh FIT. Send us a message if you guys have any questions. It was my pleasure.
So do sign up. If you're going to sign up for the nutrition challenge, it's on our homepage, pittsburghfit.com.
Have a great rest of your day.